I see you on YouTube. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got that out.
Seriously, you just want us to see our backside?
Huh? Oh.
Yeah, I'm talking about it, yeah. Oh, this is very nice stuff. Claire, I have to clean the paper, Claire. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna clear it. Yeah, I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it in 2 years. Yeah, look about the same. We all losing here. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. We got to get on the road, on the path, don't we? Yeah. My walkers. I got 10 classmates here. Yeah. Everybody else can pass them. Yeah, that's right. And you can look at. That's right. That's right.
All right, we'll get started here in a little bit. And typically, the Bales do a couple of things, but we'll let they finish short tonight, so we'll give them a couple more seconds to see. Are you still there?
Yes, sir, I'm here, can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. Yes, ma'am. All right, good evening, everybody. Today is Monday, July 8th, 2024. This is the City of Camilla regular council meeting. We are here on the first floor in the Honorable Mary Jo Haywood Council Chamber. And at this time, I would like to turn to our Assistant City Manager and City Clerk, Sheriff Ford, to call the roll, please.
Councilman Burley,
Here.
Councilman Morgan,
Here.
Councilman Collins,
Here.
Councilman Palmer.
Here.
All right, thank you, Councilor. Thank you, Cheryl. At this time, I'd like to turn to our City Manager, Dennis Shroud, to lead some prayer, please.
It be my pleasure, Mr. Mayor. Our Father, which art in heaven, God, we thank you so much for this time, this hour that you ordained for these men to come together to discuss the business of this city. Now, God, I pray that you bless them and keep them. guide their hearts and guide their minds. In Jesus' name I do pray. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. All right, thank you, City Manager.
Yes, sir.
All right. And at this time, council, is there a motion to approve the agenda for tonight?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion is proper second, any discussion? All right, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. All right. Council item 4, is there a motion to approve the minutes from the May 15th, 2024 called meeting?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion is proper second, any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. Council, at this time, is there a motion to approve the minutes from the May 21, 2024 call meeting?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion to properly second, any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. Council, is there a motion to approve the minutes from the June 3rd, 2024 work session?
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion to properly second, any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. And lastly, council, is there a motion to approve the minutes from the June 10th, 2024 council meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Motion properly second, any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. At this time, do we have any speaker appearances?
Sure. Oh, you go ahead.
Thank you.
And ma'am, before you speak, see if that green button is on. If it's not, just hold it down a little bit to see if it pops on for you.
Went green to red. Now it's green.
Okay, yes, there you go.
Awesome.
So you don't have to give your full address, but just tell them, you need your name, you need to count where you sit.
My name is Jules DeJesus Fritz, and I am a resident of Mitchell County. I am a spiritual wellness coach for my company Miracle Lab, and I'm an advocate for literacy. I'm here to represent the Friends of DeSoto Trail Libraries, a nonprofit group made of citizens who advocate for and amplify the efforts of the library. My intention today is to share the good news and success of the 2024 summer reading program with our community. The summer reading program is free, open to all ages, and available to those who have a desire to read more and to increase their literacy and social skills. Research shows that those who participate in summer reading programs mitigate learning loss and show significant intellectual gains. And our summer reading program has been a huge gain to the hearts and minds of its participants here in Camilla. A few stats: to date, there are almost 250 program participants, which include both children and adults. So far, there have been a total of 15 free events with over 500 attendees. And that number will continue to grow since there are still 10 free shows and workshops scheduled throughout July. We've enjoyed hilarious magicians, inspired storytellers, and a live animal exhibit is happening this Wednesday at 3:30. I had the honor of leading my own workshop teaching the superpower of emotional intelligence by using dance. We had a ball dancing out our feelings for better health. With our imaginations, I took the children and their grown-ups to Puerto Rico to learn the culture and to learn salsa dancing, all while simultaneously showing them what to do with big feelings. The kids were inspired and shared great ideas on how to help themselves to feel better in healthy ways instead of turning to unhealthy behaviors or screens. I've partnered my program with my favorite children's book, You Are the Sky, which teaches children that they are not their feelings. Fun fact, this book was written by my son at the age of 7, who was inspired to become an author and presenter at the summer reading program a few years ago. I was grateful to have the opportunity to serve our community and impact the lives of my attendees, thanks to the DeSoto Trail Regional Library. It's not too late to join all the fun. Free events will continue to happen Monday through Wednesday in July, And my goal is to inspire you to participate in the wonderful and free resources that we have right here in our own local library in Camilla. I also invite those interested in supporting the library to join our group, the Friends of DeSoto Trail Library. Meeting is July 18th at 4:30. We meet every third Thursday of the month in person and virtually. We'd love to have your supportive energy with us in our inclusive group. Call the library for more information. Thank you so much.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Third Thursday of each month.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other speaker appearances? This
Yes, Ron Spence, resident of Mitchell County. Evening to Mayor Orland, City Councilman Burley, Morgan, Collins, Palmer, City Manager Stroud, Assistant City Manager, City Clerk, Ford, City Attorney Wilder, and to those that are gathered here on this evening in the gallery. On Thursday, July 4th, we witnessed a state-of-the-art fireworks demonstrated by drones. This was the first for Camilla. People were kind of reluctant at first when it was mentioned that it would be done this way. However, the presentation was nothing but superb. We all know that fireworks shows often lead to lost pets, disruptions for local wildfire, polluted water, and wildfires. Whereas drone shows offer a safer celebration. We can all witness that cities around the world are moving away from large-scale fireworks, which emit pollution, disturb wildlife and pets, impact people with post-traumatic stress disorder, and other conditions that can spark wildfires. While the show might only last for 15 to 20 minutes, the contamination of the soil, water, and air lasts much longer, often for many years. Statistics shows that 8 deaths and close to 10,000 injuries were attributed to fireworks in 2023. In comparing drone shows to fireworks, drone shows are a sustainable option and they produce less pollution compared to fireworks, which can release smoke and chemicals into the air, as well as reducing the risk of accidents and injuries associated with fireworks. Fireworks cause extensive air pollution in a short amount of time, leaving metal particles, dangerous toxins, harmful chemicals, and smoke in the air for days. When ignited, these materials produce fine particles and gases that can contribute to air pollution. I commend the city for using drones this year as they offer enhanced efficiency and improved safety measures. Drones have expanded applications in photography and videography, which could be seen on Thursday evening, making them accessible even in remote areas. It was most impressive to see Happy Ford, Camilla, Visionary, City, and other captures displayed in the sky. I could be wrong, but I would say that I've never seen another presentation in South Georgia that was presented on this past Thursday. I can conclude by saying that the presentation was tremendous, beautiful, magnificent, splendid, superb, delightful, engaging, fascinating, glamorous, elegant, exquisite, glorious, delicate, great, and by all means that Camilla rocks. Again, thank you all for an extraordinary presentation.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Spence. Thank you. All right. Yes, sir.
Ventura Paulo, $70 a street here in Camilla, Georgia, but let me say first, I definitely cannot go behind that. Although I want to go behind that, I definitely cannot go behind that. I would simply say and add to that, council, mayor, city manager, and all citizens of Camilla. What a superb and awesome job that was done here in the city of Camilla, not only just the 4th of July, but the Juneteenth event as well. A superb job for the city. And I'd just like to just say what an awesome time it was, and to have people, I'm just glad to know and to express that I'm a Camillian. And that's only because of the work that is done right here in our local government. Awesome job. Secondly, I would say the work is being done. The work is being done. The work is being done, and it is definitely taking root. I would just start to say, as we look around and just evidence of the work is taking root, you got a local business owner. You didn't have to go to them and tell them you need to fix up your place. You need to enhance the look of your place. But our kind of like take everyone on a trip, just maybe 3 feet over from the city hall. Just walk with me. And you'll see by our splash park, one of the oldest, but now the most modern looking building you can imagine right here in Camilla. Because the owner is taking root, because the government of this city is standing up and showing their full potential. So, council, I just leave you with this. Remember, God is with you. We don't sing verse, but don't forget, He's still working.
Now, come on up. Sir.
Good evening,
David.
Mayor, City Council. Administrator, public. A few weeks ago,
And just the name and,
I'm Jerome Jester, 115 Lincoln Street, Camilla. A few weeks ago, this council mentioned about some type of zoning change for the Toon Hall.
no, sir.
Some type of zone change of Toon Hall.
No, sir. And, again, as a gesture, I want to make sure that when folks come and talk here, that we're giving the correct information to the public. This council has not discussed the zoning issue in at least a year and a half.
Okay, there was something mentioned about Toon Hall and some type of discussion. I talked with the people in that area, and they did not want any type of food vendor coming in that area, Toon Hall area, nor any other type of entertainment that would bring in masses of people to contribute to what they say, the vices and the lawlessness that's already occurred in the area. And this is from the property owner and the residents of that immediate area. Another topic is what we call, or what some people call, beach weekend. I suggest to the city council that we get on top of what they call beach weekend, when masses of people come from the beach and gather somewhere in the city of Camilla, blocking traffic, disrupting neighbors. I would not like to see us go backwards. And I know what beach weekend, without control, did in the past on Palmer Street, Butler Street, and Goodson Road. I suggest that we get on top of the beach weekend now.
Can you define on top, sir? You said that, and I'm giving you time back, I just want to make sure that we get the record clear. When you say get on top of it,
On top,
what do
I
you
mean
mean exactly?
lawfully controlling the traffic and the vice that's happening in that area that they call beach weekend. Excessive alcohol, smoking marijuana, speeding, loud noise. That's what I mean about getting on top of things.
When is beach weekend typically? When is beach weekend, sir?
I don't know the exact time, but somewhere every year for the past 7 years, kids go to the beach, Panama City Beach. And when they come from the beach, they come back to, in this area, Camilla.
Well, I guess what I'm asking, Mr. Gesture, is that in order for the city to get on top of it, we have to know exactly what you're talking about. So when does this happen?
I do not know the date of beach weekend, but it will be publicized, and I can bring to your attention a week or two before beach weekend is. Normally, they have a prom, then either that weekend or the next weekend, they go to the beach and they come back. So it's related to the high schools in this area prom time.
And I've taken some of your time, Mr. Jester, but you have about a minute left, so I'm putting a minute back on your time, because I interrupted you a little bit there, so. we've got about a minute left.
Next topic, I'd like to bring to our awareness the dilapidated buildings in and around Camilla. I encourage the city to do whatever is possible for the city to demolish, encourage renovation, bring it up to code, or assess whoever is paying the taxes or whoever owns the property to bring it up to code or find some way to demolish the building. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you. All right. Any other appearance?
How you doing?
Sir.
My name is Walter Anderson, I live at 104 Trump Street, North Georgia. And I spoke the last time I was at the city council meeting up there. And Councilman asked me to say anything about the issue that I brought up to my district people. I just want to apologize for the way that came out, because I thought about what you said, that we have a problem folks come in and address this at the city council where it can be heard. So I apologize to my district people for that. But to get back to what I really want to talk about is the abandoned houses and abandoned lots that we got. I think the mayor and the city manager, they're doing a great job getting solving this problem. The county, y'all got two people that are working good, get things taken care and brought back to y'all. So I still got a problem with abandoned houses. So the people are using the city code to go around different properties, get their time cleared out, we can do something about the house. And I think we need to get the zoning code changed for that. So something we did about it. Because see, I feel real bad. I pay my utility bill every month. I got a house where the person living in a squad. And the lights been off here since September of last year. And that shouldn't be happening. The guy has no dress code, we got women come through there and everything, he had to with no shirt on, shorts showing everything, that's just disrespect. Well, the lady over the corner, and she's afraid to even come out there since he got died. And I'm asking you all to do something about the city code so we can get this stuff under control.
And what I will ask you, as always, Mr. Anderson, we appreciate you coming here, because you always bring the information here, and we truly appreciate that. Well, here's what I would say, as it relates to that. You're in District 2. You have 2, and I love it when you bring it here. But here's the deal, everything that you're talking about, every council member, to include the mayor, has the right, if you will, to introduce legislation to do exactly what it is that you're saying. What I would recommend, because obviously, District 1 folks can do it, I can do it, you know what I mean, but you have elected representatives. Here's what I would recommend. If you can't get them on the phone, and they're here right now if they want to speak, you can send an email, CC myself and the city manager, to talk about introducing that legislation that will change the codes that we have in this city in order to fix that problem. But I think, honestly, that's where that needs to start. From your elected representatives introducing something here during these meetings, saying, can we get this changed? And we take it from there. But if you don't mind, I got your time, Mr. Anderson. Your council members are here. I give them an opportunity, but they want to address that in any way.
Is it illegal to live in a house with no electricity?
It's cold right now, yes, sir.
Right.
So,
So,
force the code would be the thing.
Well, the point that Mr. Anderson is saying is that that's the key word, living. What does that mean? Does that mean coming by checking on your mother's property? Does that mean at 1:30 in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning? Are you there checking on the property, or are you living there? And I think, Mr. Anderson started.
Are they living there?
Yeah, they went to a certain time at night when they go in there, so they make sure you cover at night, but during the daytime, they are out on the front porch and everything, transacting all their business and everything. So to tell you the truth, a lot of illegal activity going on. Sure.
And I think therein lies the gap, if you will, into what's written, or maybe that needs to be tightened up legislatively to include, do we board up that house if electricity is off? But as property owners, even if this property was gifted them or gifted to them, or it was inherited, as property owners, they have property rights, not necessarily to live in a house that doesn't have electricity, but the right to be on the property for whatever reason. And I think Mr. Anderson's point is that they're using that part of our current code to kind of sidestep that a little bit. And what elements of that code can be tightened up, if you will. So that may be a good project for the representatives over there. But I would encourage you, Mr. Anderson, and as you mentioned, myself and the city manager, we're going to work anyway. You know what I mean? But I think it will be very helpful if we can get your elected representatives as clause in that as much as possible going forward. So I highly recommend reaching out to them and keeping a record of that contact.
Okay. Well,
Mr. Anderson, did you file anything with the city manager about this, addressing it specifically as to what's going on?
Well, I addressed it to the city manager verbally, I addressed it to the mayor verbally, but I didn't give it.
We have multiple codes on the books that address just about everything you're talking about. That should be enforced before you start making more laws that are not going to be enforced either.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Any other speaker appearances?
I do. And this is not what I'm Julie Tucker, and I live in the city of Camilla, in the city limits, and just a comment about what's just been spoken about, whether it's District 1 or District 2, whatever rules, that should be for either district. Because I would think District 1 has the same issues as District 2. So if that's an issue in the city, that should already been addressed and taken care of. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents worth. What I came to say is give a report, an update on the Senior Resource Center and the fair, the Senior Resource Fair, and the Farmers Market that we had a few weeks ago at the depot that was held. The Senior Center, the Joy Inspired Senior Center, we were partnering with the Southern Council on Aging to house that here. The last 2 years, we've done it at the Cross Church, and we were looking for something a little bigger. We were hoping a little, bigger for us to, because we're hoping for more and more. We want bigger and better because we want to get the word out and help as many seniors in our area that qualify. There's a qualification, there's an application. I left that with y'all, I reported on that a month or so ago. And you had to be 60 and above, and there was an income requirement to get the produce, the vegetables. There was a big bag, $50 worth of produce, and from what I saw, it was very good, and everybody loved it. And then inside the depot, there are resources. It was supposed to be 26 vendors. There were resources that they could go through and talk to and see if they were interested in any of those things that were provided. I worked to try to get enough applications to them ahead so that they could get them processed, and Ms. Renette Williford, and I asked her if it was okay to use her name. She helped me also gather applications. She heard the original presentation that I did for y'all, and she gathered up some applications, and then she came to me and I made her applications, and she came back, she brought those, and I made her some more copies. So between the both of us, we turned in 75 applications ahead of the event. So we were very excited about that. And the Council on Aging told us that we served 250 people came through that farmer's market that day. And so that's what we were hoping for more and more. We had some that came from Grady County because we served several counties to come to our area. So we served other counties too, and I know that we had some representatives come from Grady County, but the majority of the people that were served, the 250, that qualified, there were some that came through because even if you didn't qualify for the fresh fruit and vegetable bag, the $50 free, you still could go through the resource part. And so, but we served 250 that qualified for the free fruits and vegetables. So I just wanted to let y'all know that we were excited about that, and we'll do it again. We're hoping to have one in the fall. They usually just do it once a year, but she's saying that it's a federal program, so it's something that, they have to report what they've done, and because the farmers have to get paid. I think we had 2 farmers that were represented, and they have to get paid, but it's free to whoever qualifies, and so we're grateful for that. And she said that they're hoping to do one, probably in the winter months. So we were excited about that. We felt like it was success, now it was hot and tiring, and when you have 150 people that come through the first hour, people had to wait no matter what, they had to wait. And they did the best they could about bringing people in and letting them stay in that front room so they would be out of the gnats and the heat. And as many as we could get on in and get through, we did. So it was a little bit hectic, but that was the first time for them being at the depot. And so I think next year they'll have a little bit more organized. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And so hopefully next year will be even better, bigger and better. So just wanted to give that report.
Ms. Bowman, just real quick, and I appreciate you bringing this up as it relates to the farmer's market. And I will tell everybody, it was something good to see. And for the city of Camilla and the depot to be part of that. My question is, are you, I guess I can find this out later on, in terms of the fee that was paid by the organization to get
You had told me to tell her to call you.
That's right.
And she called, and she said nobody ever called her back. So they just went ahead and paid the full fee. So I'm sure if she could be refunded, that would be great.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
I've been gonna ask you about it, but there's been so much going on for everybody.
No.
And I thought, she said, well, we just paid it. But it was, nobody ever called her back, she said.
And that's why I wanted to ask that question, and I know you guys were busy that day, so I didn't really get into it with you there.
But you could see if you went by, we had tons and loads of people there,
Indeed.
in and out.
And I think, Council, and obviously this is a good question for the URA, obviously, that if you're having a farmer's market that is taking care of our seniors in our community and in the region, and they're coming here, in my mind, I'm thinking that if the city or the URA in this instance can help out with that, then that's something we should do. So, Ms. Palmer, somebody's going to get either with you, and I received her card. Her last name one more time?
Her last name is Harper.
Miss Harper.
Jamie Harper.
Miss
Now,
Harper.
what we've done in the past at the Cross Church, we had some youth that would come and help with the bags and help do. And they have volunteers, besides employees, they have volunteers that come with Sawika and help manage things. But I think it would have been helpful if we had our youth there and they could have helped the elderly, because those bags were heavy. They were heavy. And so if they had somebody to help tote it to the car for the seniors, and so we could have used, hindsight's 20/20, things you could have done to make it better. But we didn't have youth available to us this time. and they brought their people and, you know, that kind of thing. As far as the Joy Inspired Senior Center, we provided the coffee and the water and snacks and things like that. And at one point, because it got so hectic, I went up and just kind of directed traffic to keep everybody come gathering up. It is hard to hear and to work when you've got everybody gathered around a couple of people. And so once I did that, it kind of smoothed things out. So we'll know to do more of that kind of directing traffic inside. I'm not talking about outside, I'm talking inside. And we'll know how, you know, more to do that. But we provided the water and the coffee and the snacks for the vendors. And we didn't do it for the public, just for the vendors. So, we thought she was very pleased. It was and I don't think they've had the one in Colquitt yet. But she said so far it was the largest one that they had done in their area. I think they had to do 4 or 5. I don't have my sheet with me. I didn't bring that. But including Darby County, we served the largest group of people. So we were excited about that. We just worked hard. Ms. Renell did, I did with our seniors. You know, I contacted everybody that we could because I just know that in our area, you know, some people have access to fruits and vegetables, and you know, and I know last week they were going to talk about farmers market, and just to, if you get set up with Farmer Brandon, he's wonderful to work with. I work with him through the school system. Years ago when he was first getting started, we did planter boxes. We put school gardens, and at the elementary school we even used some of those lettuces and romaine and things that we planted. We used them in the lunchroom, and so he's wonderful to work with. Plus, he will, if you're
Well, Ms. Palmer, what I want to do is listen out for the next URA meeting.
Mhm.
And what I'm going to do is add that item to the URA agenda to talk about refunding the fee that you guys paid or some type of discount regarding that. And Madam Attorney, I just want to make sure, and you know, as it relates to gratuities, in my mind, I see the public benefit that if we were to do that or add it to the agenda to do that. Any issues that you see regarding that?
I would have to look at it further, Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind giving me that opportunity. But certainly you have the right formula that if there is a substantial public benefit that is being received in exchange for the monetary expenditure, then there is no gratuity violation. If you just want an opportunity to take a look at it,
Absolutely, thank you. So, Ms. Palmer,
Tucker.
Ms. Tucker, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Really Tucker.
Ms. Tucker, I had Judy Palmer
I
in my head, but Ms. Tucker, what we'll do is get in contact with you or Ms. Harper, both of you, and talk about that.
Now, she handles that part. I do it from, you know, our part. But either way, we talk to each other from time to time on a regular basis. So if that can be done, that would be awesome.
Indeed.
So, okay.
All right, thank you so much. All right. Any other speaker appearances? All right, before we move on, I just want to, before we get into the action item, I just want to address one issue, obviously because it came up here in the public forum. And I just want to make sure that everybody, or to remind everybody how this works. So I am the only at-large person on this council, meaning the entire city votes for me. For everybody else, it's done in districts. So with that being said, sure, if a District 2 citizen comes and speaks here, a District 1 person can surely get in their car and go drive over to a District 2 door knock. But the way that this thing is set up is that everybody's supposed to be putting their maximum effort into the district that they represent. That's not to say that you can't work with, for instance, I'll give you a prime example. Even though District 1 introduced the utility credits, that impacted the entire city, regardless of what district you go into. So that's one way, or one example rather, of how one thing can be introduced by one district, but everybody benefits from it. But when you're talking about a specific citizen from a specific district, it is better. It is better because ideally, the idea is the representatives from that district would know that district better and know that citizenry better. So that's the idea. So it's not designed to be a partition, if you will. Just legislatively, it's a lot easier. So I just wanted to point that out. All right. Speaker appearances. Okay. All right. Action item A, House Bill 461. Madam Attorney, I'm going to turn over to you to kind of talk about this a little bit. There isn't an ordinance created by the city of Camilla. I've just talked to our city clerk, Cheryl, and there isn't an ordinance that we have that we will be voting on this evening. I didn't know if you wanted us to do a voice vote to kind of set it up, or to or just talk about it in general on what it is. House Bill 461.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I understand that there is a fee schedule that the city of Camilla has with respect to how it calculates permit fees for certain type of construction projects. In House Bill 461 that became effective on July 1st, it reclassified the method for calculating permit fees or regulatory fees for construction projects, for new construction or for extensive renovation projects. The significant part of that revision is that the law no longer allows the value of the construction to be the basis for calculating that fee, and instead bases it on the square foot of the construction to be served by the system to be installed. And it also defines extensive renovation projects as anything in excess of $75,000 in the renovation of an existing structure. And so it's a very substantial change in how the building permits are calculated for new or extensive renovation projects. And that is the biggest change. Now, that state law would supersede and would have to be incorporated into any local fee permitting structure that we have, that the city has currently. And it's my understanding that there is some type of fee schedule that the city has adopted, because it's referenced in the city code of ordinances, that the city from time to time will adopt a rate fee schedule or building permit fee schedule. And I'll turn that over to the city manager to help me on that. So to the extent that an ordinance revision is required, that provision in the city ordinance that talks about the regulatory fee permitting schedule that the city has, that would be a revision that would need to be made, that particular permitting. And the reason it would be important to make that revision is so that members of the public, those who are seeking permits for new construction or extensive renovation projects, which is defined as in excess of $75,000, that those folks would have a knowledge ahead of time of what the amount of the fee will be. And also would help our staff to understand what to charge folks who are seeking such permits.
Okay. The city manager, let me ask this, Madam Attorney. So obviously, we're not necessarily voting on a change tonight specifically to the fee schedule. However, if we, by voice vote, adopt the changes that were passed by the legislature, and the city manager to go ahead and present a fee based on that change, any issues there prior to us getting to an ordinance or a specific and I guess the fee schedule would vary, right? Because of the square footage rule. But if we did a voice vote tonight to, I guess, show support, if you will, for for House Bill 461, and the city manager starts to issue the fee based on those new rules, then any issues with that?
I would think that probably the better course would be to, adopt, well, is this state law authorize the city manager to administratively change the fee schedule to comply with, House Bill 461. That should be sufficient to make that fee permit change.
Gotcha.
And rather than doing support, because whether we support it or not, it's the law, and the state law. And so I think authorizing the city manager to go ahead and make that provision to comport with House Bill 461 in our building fee permit schedule, that would be the motion that I would suggest that we make.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Mayor, before I get into this motion, which would be germane to item A, council. Before I get into that, Mr. City Manager, you got any thoughts or words?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor and Council. We looked at the options that this new House Bill 461 gave us so that we can be in compliance. And the one that I think will work best for us is item number 4. Using that criteria to set our rates. And as you kind of example that I sent to all of you, that administrative fee obviously will be just one time, but that's what we want for item number 4. I think that'll be the best way to set it, and it'll be standardized in the office so they know exactly what to do each and every time.
All right. Councilman, any questions before we get to motion? All right, council, is there a motion to authorize the city manager to comply with revisions related to the business/occupational tax regulatory fee proceeds, professions subject to regulatory fees and fee calculations regarding House Bill 461, authorizing the city manager to facilitate any administrative changes needed in order to comply with House Bill 461. Motion.
Second.
Motion is properly second. Any discussion? Madam Attorney, does that motion fit pretty good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? All right. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Council. Thank you, Madam Attorney. All right. Item D, SGGSA 2024 amendment to intergovernmental operating agreement of 2017. Council and for the public, if you're unaware, Councilman Palmer is the chairman of the SGSA authority, and I am also a member of that board. In 2017, there was an intergovernmental agreement between the authority and the member cities. And basically at that particular time, member cities, which Camilla is one of them, so we have a stake in, so when you pay your cable bill, when you pay your, if you're with CNS Next, pay your internet bill, a portion of that comes back to the city. So you own some of that, or you benefit from some of that as a city and as citizens. At least since 2017, we have been, every member city has been responsible for taking care of billing and some technical support and that type of thing. Well, with the changes in technology, the changes of how the authority is operating, the idea now is to consolidate all of those typical customer service responsibilities to the authority, which will be headquartered, if you will, out of Thomasville. And of course, that will have an impact on our staff here in Camilla. Let me put a pin in that for a second and just ask Councilman Palmer, did he want to interject and add anything to that?
Well, it's imperative that, this be done by all 4 cities. Cairo has already approved it. Beaufort and Thomasville will be approved, from what I understand, this week. And the idea is to have this done by August to start this process. And this is just a business decision that to consolidate and to regulate. And it's just going to be more efficient in the end. And it'll make the SDGSA, at some point in time, we may decide someone may want to buy this particular operation, and if they do, this will make it more desirable and appealing to a corporation to buy something that's self-sustaining and operating on its own, as it is now. We have 4 cities involved in this, and it's all intertwined, and it needs to be unwound so that it is feasible and you can look at it and understand it where it is now. It's very complicated. And we're all owners, and so we benefit from that. But this is a very good thing, and we need to do this, and it's mandatory that all 4 cities approve this. If one does not, it is not going to happen.
All right, and I can tell you, everybody, you can, and I say this in jest, so let me just say that up front, that you can mark the time as 6:51 p.m. on July 8th, 2024. This is an awesome opportunity where I can honestly say this is a time where I 100% and unequivocally agree with Councilman Palmer. And again, that's a yes. But this is one of these deals where I totally agree that this is no longer an idea of trying to do more with less. This is the idea of trying to do more efficiently, as Councilman Palmer pointed out. And I would be remiss, council, and to the public, if I didn't say that obviously, if you're talking about consolidating these services in one location, and having the authority take care of that, and in Thomasville, that will have an impact on the staff here in the city of Camilla, as it will all of the member cities, all of the member cities. But I think that that prior to this vote, it is important that the council understands that. It's important that the citizens understand that. And again, I agree with the characterization that Councilman Palmer pointed out, that in the long run, this is good for the authority and it's good for the member cities, specifically, as Councilman Palmer pointed out, that when you can put all of this in one location, when and if the time, and I can tell you right now, the authority is putting a lot of effort in trying to see if there's any potential buyers out there. When you can present a cleaner book of business to any potential buyer, that's a good thing. And so again, I wholeheartedly agree with the councilman related to this. But there will be an impact here in our city and our staff specifically going forward. Any comments or questions?
Yeah, as far as the impact, have we already calculated kind of what that is? What that look like as far as staff or?
I think, to answer your question, there's obviously been some conversations, if you will. But without taking the next couple of months, assuming that all member cities pass this, without taking an opportunity to truly look at what will be the impact, we know there will be some impact. But to truly look at it It's really hard to do that without making sure that it has passed. And once it's passed, assuming that we pass it here tonight, and it's expected that the other member cities will also pass it this week, I believe. Then we can go ahead and get into the numbers, especially as it relates to, this is kind of right at budget season. So there's gonna be some budget considerations. And again, at the end of the day, without talking around it, it will equate to savings, if you will, in some way, as it relates to to all member cities. How much is yet to be determined, but there will be some impact.
And also, Mr. Mayor, this decision, we as council and the public should understand that, as Councilman Palmer just stated, that all cities has to agree to this in order for this to pass. So there was a good question Councilman Morgan mentioned about the individual that may be affected. And I hope that we're clear to strategize that and put them where they need to be and do what we need to do as a city. Because other cities probably going to be suffering as well.
Indeed. Again, this is one of these circumstances, ladies and gentlemen, where, and when you, and obviously myself and Councilman Palmer can't pull you inside of into an SGGSA meeting, but what I can tell you, when you look at the structure and the raw numbers of it, even though the impact obviously would be felt locally, to your point, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, as a business, as a book of business,
Nothing personal.
it's not exactly. As a local business, it makes sense, frankly, and this is the direct result of when we tried to sell this business probably about a year ago, where some of this stuff, let me back up, I don't run my mouth too much, but this decision, potential decision, was born out of that. Because it was extremely, as the councilman mentioned, complicated and extremely messy, if you will. This vote attempts to clean this up as a local business. Councilman Palmer, anything in there that I say is inaccurate?
No, this is, I mean, what you said is correct. But, part of this is just one of the pieces. The people that have looked at it, this is something they were suggested and encouraged us to do, to make this more attractive book of business or a going business. So it's something that it just makes nothing but common sense to do it.
I agree. All right.
My last question is, our staff members who are customer service that potentially doing this, are they dealing with both city utilities and this? Or do we have like certain staff that are only dedicated to seeing this function?
The window back there actually takes care of both, but then you got the other side that deals probably 85% of the time with this operation. So impact is real.
Okay. And again, the only reason why we're stressing this, because we want the record to show, and we want the public to know that whatever this vote ends up being, it wasn't and isn't being taken lightly, if you will. All right. Any other comments? Madam Attorney, before we, or before I ask a question or put the question forward, any comments from you?
No, it is an IGA that's being amended, Just as you stated, and Councilman Palmer has stated, and it appears to be a situation all for one for all in this, and that everyone will need to sign in order to make this fruitful endeavor for the city, and there are no legal issues or concerns that I have with any of that, Mayor and Council.
All right, council. All right. One last time, any other comments? All right, council, is there a motion to approve the 2024 amendment to the intergovernmental operating agreement of 2017 with SGG SA as presented? Is there a motion?
Make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion properly second. Any other discussion? All right, Madam Clerk, your roll call.
Councilman Burley,
Yes.
Councilman Morgan,
Yes.
Councilman Collins,
Yes.
Councilman Palmer.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, council.
Thank you, council, for that. I mean, appreciate that a lot.
Indeed. All right. Item C, cemetery lot transfer. Ms. Mary Reese, council, you should have a copy of that. Ms. City Manager or Cheryl, any comments or thoughts on that?
She had just requested it, and in accordance with our policy, I told him she would need to get her to submit a request. I think we were trying to establish a family plot, and she wanted her brother to have that particular plot.
All right. And council, as you're aware, this is the procedure per our charting ordinance, if you will. All right. Any questions regarding? Okay. Council, at this time, is there a motion to approve the request by Mary Reese of gifting of the cemetery lot as presented in her request?
Motion second.
There's been a motion, to properly second, in the discussion. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. All right. At this time, council, I'd like to turn it to the city manager for the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council. Council, Mayor, all of you should have received today, budget to actuals. As you know, by Friday, I hope to at least begin putting the first draft of our 24-25 budget in your hand. But I wanted you to see where we are right now, so you should already have that. If not, check your emails for that. Also, remember these speed devices that we bought several months ago. I have been tracking those, looking at traffic volumes, speed, and so I've been talking to our police department to make sure that we're using that tool so we can move those things around, but we know we're getting a high volume of traffic in any hours that it appears that we're getting the most speeders around town. The speed tables that we talked about near Butler and I think that's Palmer, as they continue to get the drainage corrected over on the north side. Once we get ready to do the paving in there, that will be the last part of that project with the speed tables around our park area. We can see that the Toombs Park grassing is starting to catch up now. We had to do some more water to get the root system to really get it taken hold of, but the grassing is starting to come in. Once that grass is established, I feel a little bit better about having play on it. But let's get the grassing started. Get the root system going. The old gymnasium, you saw it as probably about 85%, maybe 75% down. That's going well for us.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry,
Mr. Mayor, thank you. The old Boys and Girls Club.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I heard myself. It's about 75%. We did hit a water main the other day, but we got that fixed. No big deal. The LNIC project, you know, we submitted both rounds. And so we're expecting that last round of resources to come in any day now. We're focusing on dilapidated housing on Thursdays. And subject to your questions.
Sir, can you provide an update on the cemetery roads project?
Yes, sir. It is now time for that to go out to bid. So I told Jim about mid-July, I want to go ahead and get that released. So hopefully if we can get a release for, 30 days or so, we'll still be in a good one if we get some good bids, to get that asphalt on the ground.
Also, Mr. City Manager, the project, Albany Circle,
Yeah, no,
on one side,
yes, sir.
how is that coming?
Yes, sir, that project, it took us a long time to get the containers moved. Now that the containers moved, the first thing they'll do is go in and start working on that drainage ditch and getting the pipes in. Once all the drainage system is situated, and I think we have one pole to move, then we'll start on the asphalt work. But we gotta get that infrastructure done first.
They are working on, right?
Yes, sir.
Mr. City Manager.
Yes, sir.
Railroad crossing, when the crossings were done by the railroad in the city, why wasn't the one down on Chili Street next to the city hall?
Well, I picked the 5 worst ones that I knew about at the time, or the 3, 4 worst ones at the time. If you have identified another, give me that one, and I'll make sure I look at it so we can do it that way.
So you go out of city hall and go and, so Laurel Lane.
Yes, sir.
You don't know,
Okay.
it joins the city property.
Yes, sir.
Also, Mr. City Manager, I just want to give you kudos and also give kudos to our police chief for 4th of July with all of his officers. We really had what I would call community policing. They really enjoyed themselves. They connected with the citizen. It was dancing and giving out water and fans and all that good stuff. I thought that was a good look for the city and for the police all together. They was really engaged with the community and the citizen, and I really appreciate that. And I thank him for allowing them to be a part of this event.
Thank you, sir, and I'll make sure I pass it along. They're probably watching, but I'll make sure I pass it along.
Anything else for the city manager? All right, council. There's a few items here that, just real quick, let me touch on the Mayor Pro Tem 4th of July, and we've obviously had some words here earlier that, from my perspective, we had, and many of our citizens' perspective, an awesome event to introduce this new technology to this region. And also, I think it's important to point out that this type of technology, obviously, is about the 4th of July and the celebration and that type of thing, but we're also trying to create a sense of place where Camilla becomes a destination, not only for the 4th of July, but for other events. And when you have a drone show, something that is new in technology, it helps put our name on the map to think about other things. And as we've said before, when you look around the city, you can't turn out one corner where there has been a new business open or some type of construction happening to introduce some new facility to this city. Doesn't matter which corner you turn. Either a new business just opened or something that's been built for this city. And on that note, I want to welcome the Pickle Patch, who has just opened up their brand new location here in the city of Camilla. We're so glad to have you, and we appreciate you for choosing our city to expand your business. As it relates to the work that is being done over near the old gym, the new resource center that will house the Boys and Girls Club, I want to report to the citizens of this city that a couple of weeks ago, 2 Fridays ago, the city of Camilla closed on a $5.1 million bond. That money is now sitting in the bank, ready to build a brand new gym for our citizens here in this city. It is no longer something that we're talking about. The money is in the bank, ready to be spent to build a brand new state-of-the-art multi-million-dollar gym that will last for decades here in this city. And to the citizens of this city, to the URA, to the members of this council that are responsible for making that happen, thank you so much. And I'm sure that our citizens for decades to come are going to be very appreciative of that also. We are nearing the end of a hotel feasibility study, a brand new hotel here in the city of Camilla that will be downtown. That feasibility study should be completed here in the next 2 weeks. And basically what that study is going to tell us, is it feasible? Is it something that is worth doing here in the city of Camilla? Having a hotel downtown. We will be getting that report hopefully before this month is out. They are real close to finishing up. They've been working on that now for going on about 2 months. So we are really looking forward to seeing what that report has to say. We are happy to report to the citizens of the city that our initial application for a $2.5 million grant, which could be as much as another $1 million, so about $3.5 million, but the initial grant of $2.5 million to help build the new apartments that are coming out near Goodson Roads. A $2.5 million grant. The CREAT application, you have to take steps to get there. And I'm happy to report to the citizens of this city that our pre-application was approved by the Department of Community Affairs of this state. So we're on our way, finishing up the final touches on the final application that will be submitted this week. So keep your eyes and ears open for that, for us making that first step. Also, we will be looking into the city of Camilla through the URA applying for a rural zone designation here in the city. That's going to be even more important, especially for our downtown area, for our businesses as it relates to tax abatement and other things. So the talks on that have started, and when ready, the URA will be given that responsibility to bring that forward. So we're having good talks related to the rural zone designation. And then also McCree Hall, we have finalized the last verbal words, if you will, with the Camilla Development Authority to transfer McCree Hall to the citizens of the city, and to really expand our partnership with the Regional Commission in this region. So there should be a meeting at some point here in the near future, I hope, that will allow the city, the leadership of the Regional Commission and the leadership of the Camilla Development Authority to sign all the necessary documents to transfer that property and to give the Regional Commission here in this area the much needed financial relief that will allow them to expand their reach a lot more to the member cities and counties that they serve in this region. And then lastly, I read, so again, obviously that's all good news, right? But I want to, because this has become a matter of public conversation, and especially publicized and published, if you will, relating to the current composition of our council. I want to ensure the citizens of this city. There's been talks about, as the city manager mentioned, we're going to get into a budget season here fairly shortly. And I read something about the idea of opportunities for folks to shine, if you will. Let me say this as it relates to the current composition of this council. It takes 4 council members for us to have a quorum to do any business of the city. And from time to time, folks get sick. From time to time, folks have to travel. And the way that we are currently composition, you run the real risk of not having a quorum, all right? And there's been talks or published reports as it relates to our budget and that type of thing. What I want to tell the folks from my perspective as mayor of this city, and words like compromise, there will be no compromise without equity in this city. Someone mentioned before, earlier in this meeting, that we're not going backwards. We are not. I want to express to the citizens of this city that our charter says that if for some reason we cannot come to a decision or agreement on a budget by October 1st, you simply use the budget you already had the previous year. So we are set up to handle any of those types of things that may come up. So I don't want anybody to think that there has to be any level of appeasement on anybody's side. That does not, from my perspective, equate to equity in this town. There will be no compromise without equity. No leverage. None of that. And I thought it was important that I mention that. And lastly, because it was mentioned or published that there's an opportunity for certain folks to shine, if you will. If anybody is in this business for individual accolades, I suspect you're in it for the wrong business. If you're in this to be liked by everyone, probably in the wrong business. Ladies and gentlemen, we have serious challenges in this city that have to be addressed. And one of the biggest ones is the equity in this town. And we're going to settle that one way or another. And if we have to wait until we have the full cadre of council members after the November election, then that's what we'll do. But there will be no compromise without equity. That's a quote. All right, council, it appears we have reached the end of our agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Madam Attorney, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Where's the
They dragged their feet. I'm trying to stay out.
What's that, you good?
Tell them to the ground out.
Yes, sir.
I understand that, but I'll follow.
Right there. Oh, sure. Clear forward, everybody.
You better know it.
Appreciate you, brother.